Hey there everyone, Muckluck Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire IV here, and today let's talk about the perfect game. Now, it's no secret I stream and play a lot of Guild Wars 2. For the last year, it has been my favorite title and has led to a lot of my own growth on Twitch and YouTube. But just because it's my favorite game doesn't mean I think it's the perfect game. Over time, when I see something in-game that bugs me, I write it down, and I have built up a list of things I would love to see changed in some cases, fixed in others. With the announcement of a third expansion in the works, I feel like there's no better time to be vocal about these items because who knows, maybe ArenaNet will agree with some of these points and make some changes. So, without further ado, here's my list on what I think can be done to improve the game. Underwater class balancing. I love underwater combat. It's quite clear when the game released they spent a lot of time on it. There's underwater buoy turrets for engineers, aquatic ranger pets, elementalists shooting jets of boiling water instead of fireballs. It's awesome, but it is sorely in need of a balance patch. Some classes are insane and others are dirt when it comes to underwater DPS and the aquatic ruins fractal. And on that note, I would love more underwater content in general. The only form of travel I don't have a mount for is underwater. Perhaps an underwater mount in the future? Diable Weapons. Would be awesome to be able to do this, even if it was limited to non-legendaries. Allow me to customize my downstate skills. Some downstate skills scale with power, others with condition damage. If I'm playing certain builds, my downstate is still a threat to an enemy. Other builds, I can never make a comeback. Why? Let me choose some options for downstate, just like everything else in the game. More race options? During the trailer announcing the Iceberg Saga, one of the first scenes was a Kodan, and everyone in the live chat went insane thinking it was a new playable race. When it became clear it wasn't, it was a very sad moment. Now, Guild Wars 2 has never added a new race, so there isn't a precedent for this yet, but I would love to see Kodan, Tengu, or something else added. The ability to decorate and move things in your home instance. True player housing. We already have the tech in the game to play Minecraft in the guild halls. I would love to see this for the home instance. Plus, let us earn trophies for major achievements to display in our homes. For me, this idea came from EverQuest 2. Add Invite to Party to the drop-down menu when I right-click someone's name in the chat. If someone random with a difficult-to-type name asks to join my party, I currently have to right-click, Add to Friends, right-click again, Invite to Party. This has resulted in me having a friends list of hundreds of people and I have no idea who most of them are. A Consume All button when you right-click a stack of unidentified dies. Clicking through these is going to give me carpal tunnel. Free camera bug on mounts. When I tried to turn my camera to watch behind me while on mounts, it constantly whips back around. This doesn't happen on foot. Red hue for enemy shields, blue hue for friendlies. This idea is from Overwatch. As a ranger main, I use a lot of projectiles, and when guardians put up one of their many bubbles that stop projectiles, I have to save my shots. But what if there's a guardian on both teams? I can't tell at a glance whose shield it is. Allow me an option to see enemies' bubbles with a different color hue. As a huge fan of pets and summons, I find it odd that engineers' turrets and rangers' pets have no scaling at all with stats, with the exception of the flamethrower turret with condition damage. I would love to see a rifle turret's damage increase with the engineer's power, or the ranger's Black Widow spider scale with its condition damage. Tome of Knowledge needs a Consume All button also, and a way to disable the confirmation pop-up. Yes, I know you can visit the person in town to trade the books for spirit shards, so this suggestion is a quality of life one. It would save a lot of time. Repeated challenge mode rewards for raids. After doing challenge modes one time and getting the achievement, there isn't a lot of incentive to go back and do it again unless you just love challenge mode. Let the challenge mode folks get more rewards than normal kills every time, even if it isn't as much as the first kill. Increase male cap size / male limits. Okay, this might affect me and other content creators more than the average player, but oh my gosh, this is frustrating. I have to log in and empty my 10-slot mailbox 4+ times a day because it keeps getting full, but if I reply to 2 people within 60 seconds, my mail locks and I have to wait before I can send more mail. If I'm hosting an event or doing a giveaway and trying to mail out prizes, it slows everything down, which results in me keeping a list of winners and mailing the prizes out over the next few hours because of the darn mail limits. I'm guessing they were put in place because of bots or something in the past, but can we get it removed if our account is over a certain amount of time and age or something? Let me use boosters, /snow gobbler, and other similar items in the PvP lobby. If you forget to turn on your PvP experience booster before PvP, it won't let you do it. Why? Just let me turn the boost on. Why do I have to do it minutes before the match and waste some of it instead of being able to do it in the lobby? Possibly only a ranger issue. When I'm in downstate, I can still use F1 through F4 to give my pet orders, but I can't see the cooldowns on pet swap, which is F4, or the pet's F2. So many times I'm in downstate, I'm slamming the keys repeatedly, hoping that they're about to possibly come back up, but I don't really know. Let me see them. I can't assign stow pet to a hotkey. I don't know why. It isn't in the options menu anywhere. I have to do it manually. There are situations in PvP where it is advantageous to use this, and it is currently a chore to do so because it requires mouse clicking a very small button every time. Packed Scout mapping materials need a use all button. Anyone who has ever done the Pack Supply Network Agents and waited a month for the best possible payout knows how tedious it is double-clicking the stack of packed materials 100 or more times. A wish list for the gem store. Let folks create a wish list for items not currently for sale and get a notification when those items appear for sale. It will help all players not miss out on the items they've waited for and will possibly increase sales for ArenaNet. Let me change the order of guilds on this guild menu. The only current way to do that is to quit the guilds and rejoin them in a specific order. I just want to be able to rearrange them and choose which one is G1, G2, etc. in the chat. Let me disable the special effects of Aurora, Vision, and other similar legendary trinkets if I tire of them. Add a checkbox to those slots that makes them invisible or allow us to transmute those slots. Add a free way to obtain food buffs while in the Golem room so we don't have to waste money on that while doing testing. The room is nearly perfect with the ability to emulate almost every boon and condition in the game, it just needs to add item buffs. The next 3 are related to Ranger, which is the class I play most often. I would love to see a legendary Ranger pet. Call it a Chimera or something that makes sense. We can pick which animal's appearance it uses from a list of those available, which skills it has from a list of the animal skills already available, and which stat distribution it has. There's no precedent for a class-specific legendary, but a guy can dream. I've posted this on the forums before. If you use Search and Rescue to pull a downstate ally to you, then you start reviving them, it can trigger the ally's aid trait, which procs a second Search and Rescue, which does nothing, because you are already doing that, and it wastes the cooldown. This leads to the following behavior. Using Search and Rescue, then not helping the pet res the person so that you don't waste your second Search and Rescue in case you need it within the next 60 seconds. Easy fix, make it so that when you use the Search and Rescue skill, you cannot trigger the ally's aid trait for 3 seconds. These next few are related to PvP. Pet pathing. What I'm about to show you is something in the entire game, but it's only really a problem in PvP. It affects Mesmer clones, Ranger pets, and Necro minions. I'll be referring to all 3 as pets for this. Pets cannot drop down or path across jumps. When I step out of the gate on Skyhammer and I jump across the gap to fight people at mid, my pet takes a very long path around, usually arriving way too late. If I pet swap after the jump but get hit while doing it with a Necro Mark or a Longbow, it's on cooldown for the fight. If me or my enemy is on a jump pad on this map, the pet just shuts down and stops fighting altogether. I honestly feel, as a ranger, that Skyhammer is so broken it should not be in the ranked map pool. Capricorn also has a spot at the midpoint fight. If you are fighting an enemy that moves up or down these boxes, your pet does this. I honestly doubt this will get fixed because it would require a huge change to the way pathing works for NPCs, but guy can hope. Make the PvP spinner minimizable. So many times I will be in combat waiting on queue. It pops, I hit the accept button, then I dismiss the window. Then the spinner window pops up, blocking my vision, and it doesn't have a dismiss button. So I'm fighting for my life with a huge blind spot in the middle of my screen. Worse off, if I had the confirmation box open, like mail sent successfully, I can't click it when the spinner appears over it, and then I'm completely hostage until it loads the next map. A PvP stat board that makes sense. Even with all the time I've played this, I don't follow some of the information on this stat board. Show me people's classes even after they leave the match. Why does their class icon disappear when they leave? If I want to message the enemy Revenant, or ask an ally about a trait they were running, or report someone for being AFK, and all I saw during the match was their class, that information's now gone. PvP timer. It isn't often my PvP matches go until the time runs out, but when it does happen, it surprises almost everyone. I suggest making the PvP timer become red font and slightly larger for the last 60 seconds to get people's attention. Currently, it sneaks up on people all the time. A surrender button for PvP if a teammate is link dead. If someone is gone and you're getting destroyed 5v4, it feels pretty bad being held hostage there for the next 5 minutes while you wait on the game to end. Display more information for automated tournaments. Show me the brackets, let me see what's going on. As it is now, I play in a tournament, it says it's 4 matches long, and then sometimes there's an unexplained 5th match it throws me into. I assume it's a tiebreaker? Show me the bracket layout, let me see what's happening. 500 gold mail cap per week. For those that don't know, you can't withdraw more than 500 gold in coin from your mail plus guild stash in a week. So if you deposit 2,000 gold to your guild bank plus treasury, it will take 4 weeks to withdraw it all. And then, if someone sends you a mail with 1 copper attached to the mail, you can't take the copper out, so you can't delete the mail. You have to return mails, then send a message explaining why you did that. I'm sure this limit was put into the game because of something related to gold sellers or something in the past, but can we lift it now? Or at least lift it for accounts over a certain age, or perhaps accounts that have the full version of the game. No trade window. Unlike most RPGs or MMOs, this game has no trade window. You can mail to each other, but there isn't a cash on delivery option either. Essentially, everyone has to take a huge risk if doing a trade with another player, and there is a long list of people that have been screwed over by this. This has led to some trading communities to try and regulate who is naughty and who is trustworthy, but this whole system wouldn't be needed if we had a trade button or a cash on delivery option for mail. Game optimization. There are a lot of players out there who report troubles running the game. It is very intensive on system resources compared to some other similar MMOs that can run on potatoes. Would love to see this get fixed if it were possible. It would also increase the amount of players that could potentially play the game, possibly leading to a larger player base and more sales for the company. While on that topic, would love to see templates for your settings. For example, if I go into World v World or the Octovine meta event, I would like to render the fewest amount of players possible because it can get very laggy. The rest of the time, I usually have my settings on high. Let me resize the bank window like my normal inventory. The constant scrolling up and down in this window to find things is a bit tiresome. Allow us to save a favorite transmute set. So if we get new equipment, we can just hit apply favorites and transmute everything to our favorite setup. Indicator for group squad leader in the party window. Put a crown or something on them so we can see who has it. Maybe add fishing to the game as a gathering profession. New gathering tool? Fishing rod or fishing net, and interactable nodes on the edges of bodies of water. Probably better to use a net. I mean, having a fishing rod that breaks all the time would make as much sense as having a harvesting scythe break all the time. Doesn't make any sense. Colorblind Mode. This is similar to my complaint about fixing up friendly/enemy guardian bubbles. This game needs a colorblind mode. Official mod support. Hear me out here. I know a lot of people in the past have used damage meters to be jerks. but those same people can be jerks without the help of meters. At the time I make this video, there's one meter I know of called Arc DPS that helps you check your damage, and I find it to be incredibly useful. I go to the practice golem and I go nuts. I try different traits, rotations out, and I improve myself. I can give other people advice after a run and help them out as well. All that said, this mod has such little access to the game, it feels worse than the Recount add-on I used in vanilla World of Warcraft over 10 years ago. I like to heal in 10-mans, but I can't see a healing breakdown. Did I pull 50% of the healing weight? Or did I pull 10% and the other guy carried me? I don't know. Neither of us know. This also leads me into the cause of death log. When I die, I can hit the cause of death button in PvP to see what killed me, but 90% of the time it's just a flood of bleeding and burning tick messages and I can't filter them out to see what the big hit was. On top of that, you only have a few seconds before you respawn and then you can't see the log anymore at all. Once again, when I was using the Recount add-on, I could easily see what everyone's cause of death was if they died during a fight, minutes after the fact once things had calmed down. Phew! I think that's everything I've got. I want to stress again that although I just listed a lot of things that aren't perfect with the game, I love this game. I still play and stream it daily, and it is the best MMO in my opinion after 20 years of dabbling in MMOs. These are just ways I think it could be better. If you have any suggestions on things that you would like to see in the game, put it in the comments. Maybe, just maybe, we'll see some of these items in the upcoming expansion. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like for the YouTube algorithm. Comment below if you have any questions for me or additional input, and subscribe and ring the bell if you would like to see more content. A special thank you to my newest Patreon supporters who help make this possible. If you would like to become one yourself for early access, there is a link in the description. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment for me below the video, as mentioned before. You can mail me in-game at muckluck.9082, or ask me live any evening on Twitch after 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Click the follow button and ring the bell there to be notified when I go live. That's it for today. Stay safe out there, friends.